Hey, what's up you guys? My name's Tyler Rugge. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. So for today's video, I wanted to talk about how to choose the right bird and kind of go through the process and the steps. And I also wanted to take the My Right Bird quiz, see what bird I end up with, and then I'm gonna go to one of my favorite local bird stores and I'm gonna go there to learn more about whatever bird it is that I get on the quiz and kind of go through what it would be like to go to a store and try to learn more about a bird that you want to get and figure out more about what bird you should get as a pet and how to choose that. So hopefully some of you guys find this video to be helpful. I know finding the right pet bird and actually going about it properly is a very stressful thing because birds are a huge commitment. There's so many different types of birds to choose from and they're all so different in so many different ways as far as personality goes and the care that goes into taking care of them. Today's video is actually sponsored by My Right Bird, so we're gonna take their quiz, which is just a really fun and easy quiz that you can take to kind of narrow down what types of birds you might be interested in, because again, there are just so many different types to choose from. It can be hard to find a place to start. And then from there, we're gonna go to the store, and this is a bird specialty store. They know so much about birds, it's literally what they do. So I always would highly recommend going to some place like that to find more information about birds because they are such a great resource to have. But yeah, before we get to that part of it, let's take the My Right Bird quiz and see what type of bird that I should get. Now this is kind of hypothetical. I'm obviously not actually getting another bird. I already have two. I have an African gray and a severe macaw, as some of you may know. And trust me, they are a handful. They are enough for me personally. And this quiz will be linked down in the description below if you also would be interested in taking it. Am Pipoca, very bird. Want to bird? Yes. Do you have any children? No. Do you have any pets? Yes, I do. Have you ever owned a bird before? Yes, I have. Does your home share walls with neighbors? Absolutely not. Could never share walls with anyone with the birds I have now. Preferred interactions with a pet. I'll say having them sleep in your lap. I really love animals that you can really interact and bond with. Birds can be much older than other pets. How long can you commit to taking care of a bird? I'll probably go with 30 years just because I already have birds that live a really long lifespan and I don't know if I would want to commit to another huge commitment like that. So I'm just gonna go with 30 years for if I were to get another bird. Longest amount of time your home is unoccupied by humans. I would say the longest is probably 2 to 6 hours, but usually it's always occupied, but yeah. I would say 2 to 6 hours is probably the most. How important is a bird's speaking ability to you? I don't care one way or another. I have birds that are really good at speaking, so I guess it's not that big of a deal. If a bird can't speak very well, it's okay, bird. Your cute little bird sounds are enough for me. I want a bird that is low maintenance, will surprise me, will love me unconditionally, will get along with my friends and family. I want a bird that will get along with my friends and family. That would be a dream. Gizmo has actually really come around and is actually starting to really enjoy interacting with other people, which is cool. Gypsy, on the other hand, prefers me, so it'd be nice to have another bird that just loves everyone. Do I have allergies? I do have allergies, but I don't find that my birds necessarily trigger my allergies, so I'm just gonna go with no. How much mess potential can you handle? I'll just go with bring it on. I can handle a lot of mess. How much are you willing to spend on a pet bird? So I know previously taking this quiz I said more than 1,000 because I am willing to spend basically whatever it takes to get the right bird for me. But I feel like realistically, if I were to get a new bird right now, I probably wouldn't want to spend more than like $500. So I'm just gonna go with 500. How much noise can you handle? Ever heard a cockatoo scream? I don't want that. So I don't know if I would turn it up to 11, but I'll say a lot because I can handle a lot. All right, cool. So I got a parrotlet. So it says average lifespan, 20 years, size 5 inches, attention, intelligence, speech mimicry, All that stuff looks really good. Talents, acrobats. So it says, curious, smart, and playful. This little bird packs a wallop. Toys and other playthings will help to keep her intellectually stimulated. So it says I'm 87% compatible. And then what's also really cool is you can see over on the left, there's all these other different birds here, and you can click on the different ones and see how compatible you are. What I also really like is there's a tab to press find birds like this, and it will take you like to a pet finder link where it'll show you all the different places in your area that you could potentially adopt the bird you're looking for. So I think that's a really cool tool as well. All right, so I took the My Right Bird quiz. Again, if you would like to take it, it'll be linked down below. I got the parrot, so I'm gonna head over to my favorite local bird store. It's called Chirping Friends here in Michigan, and kind of talk about not only how to choose a bird and different things that you have to take into consideration when choosing a pet bird, but we're also gonna talk about the parrot and kind of go over the whole process of actually getting everything you need and different things that I should know about the bird. But yeah, let's head over to Chirping Friends and let's learn about the parrot. All right, guys, so we're here at Chirping Friends. I'm here with April.
Hi.
So this is like my favorite bird store in the area. I come here all the time with my birds to get their like beak and nails and everything done. So you guys are really knowledgeable about birds. So I wanted to ask you questions about how to choose the right bird and just like what people should look for when they're looking into getting a pet bird. So like what advice would you give people, or what would you suggest they look for in a bird?
So a lot of the times it's drawing the information from the customer. As far as what are you looking for? Are you looking for a bird that you want to take out and play with and socialize? How much time do you have to interact with them? A lot of it's going to come down to expense too, because birds can be fairly expensive as far as the price of the bird, getting the cage, the toys, the food, all of the necessities that they need. What are you looking for out of the bird personality-wise? How much time do you have to dedicate for them? All of that.
So, like, what questions do you ask someone if they come into the store and they're like, I want a bird? Like, how do you figure out what bird you think they should get?
So the first question I always ask is, are you looking for a cage bird, or are you looking for a bird to take out and play with and interact with?
Okay.
And then from there, that can go either which way. If you're looking for a bird to take out and play with, what are the characteristics you're looking for out of the bird? What's your priority? Do you want a bird that is sociable and cuddleable? Do you want a bird that's quiet? Do you care about if a bird's being loud or not? How much time do you have to interact with them? You know, if you have children, if you have any other animals, and all of that too, to fit the right bird with the right household.
Right. Yeah. So is there any advice you would give to someone who's like a first-time bird owner, like what to expect? I know it probably depends on what bird they're getting.
A lot of it depends on what bird, and it's just doing research.
Yeah.
That's what it's going to come down to. Talking to multiple different people, researching online, going to any type of forums or anything, and asking questions. The more research you have will be better to help you fit with what bird you should go with.
Another question, this is a question I get a lot, so I wanted to ask you it, is a lot of people ask me questions about how to like socialize with their bird or bond with their bird more, because a lot of people come to me and they're like, my bird doesn't let me get him out of the cage, or like my bird like screams at me and tries to bite me.
So that is a common one. That's probably the most common. It's really just gaining trust. When you have trust, you can do anything with them. When trust is broken, it's really hard to get it back. So you have to know when to push, and you have to know when to back off. The best thing is just trying to get them to eat food out of your hands, trying to get them used to the whole hands-on thing. Getting them out of the cage and working with them in a different room. Like, I usually recommend the bathroom because it's a place that the bird typically wouldn't be in. So they're familiar with you, but they're not familiar with that space. so they're more apt to bond with you that way.
Okay.
Just gaining trust with them
Yeah.
and not overstepping it.
Super important. Okay, cool. Well, I took the bird quiz and I got a pair of lats. So
Awesome.
what's up with parrotlets?
So
like?
parrotlets are known as a pocket parrot as well.
Okay.
They're the smallest out of the parrot family. They have a really, really big personality in a small package. They're very quiet, they're very cuddly, they're very feisty, they're very playful. The possibilities of the parrotlet is endless because as far as toys go and cages go, you can do small to large. They're most compared to actually an Amazon parrot.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Hypothetically, I'm here to get a parrotlet.
Okay.
Or at least here to get the stuff for a parrotlet, because I feel like it's always a good idea to get everything you need, obviously, first and prepare yourself.
Absolutely. So we're going to start with cages first.
Yeah, cages.
You always start with the cage, and then we got to build the cage up, right?
That's a good place to start.
Okay, so cage recommendations. Parrotlets are small, but they require a lot of stuff in the cage. They're very active, very outgoing. Lots of perches, lots of toys, everything.
Okay.
So there's a cage like this. It's a flight cage. It's 32 by 21, I believe, are the dimensions. And then you've got a little bit smaller. This one's a 28 by 18. I am a personal fan of this cage because it does have horizontal bars.
Okay.
So it's easier for birds to climb.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Which is really nice. So you have to think about the climbing aspect, how small their feet are, and all of that as well. So then there's a 26 by 20 cage. It gives them lots of room for lots of climbing, lots of perches, and lots of toys and all of that as well.
Right, so now that we've looked at the cages, we have to look at what to actually put in the cage. So we're over by the perches. So
a lot of the cages come with dowel rods. Not so much recommended. You want something that's going to be more natural. If you're gonna you should have a variety of stuff. You should have wood, rope, and grooming perches in the cage. Then you can add like some edible perches and all of that too. The more variety they have for the feet, the better, because you don't want them to develop blisters or sores on the bottom of their feet. So doing the more natural perches to fit the cages is gonna be better for the feet. And again, what you're looking for is anything that's gonna be thin enough for the feet to wrap on. When you do grooming perches, though, the point of the grooming perches is to help for in between grooming appointments for them to file the nails on so they don't get sharp and file their beaks, rub the beaks on them. These are really important because of that. But you always want to go a little bit bigger on those because you want the feet to set on them, not around them, so that it hits the points. And they have all kinds of different ones. They have like the twisted ones as well to help with like arthritis and all of that too.
Yeah.
And then there's the edible perches that you can do so the birds can actually eat them. You also want to incorporate rope perches as well, and there's tons of varieties to do with these. You can do anything from like the boings, they open up, they're spirally, they're fun, they swing, they can bounce on them. A lot of them have bells on them as well.
That's basically it for the perches, right?
Yep, for perches.
All right, so how about like toys to put in there?
We do need lots of toys.
Yes.
So a variety of toys. You should have wood, rope, shreddable, noisy, elastic. The more variety they have, the better it's going to be to help to stimulate them. With a lot of your toys, you can also incorporate them into being foraging toys by hiding any kind of dried fruits, vegetables, nuts, anything dried into them. So when you do a shreddable toy, a lot of times you can just open them up and you can stick some food and stuff inside of them. And then it encourages the bird to rip this up to be able to get the food out of it. You should also have wood. Anything, and depending on which type of bird you're going with, what size bird you're going with, will help you pick what kind of sizes that you have.
Right.
So with a parrotlet, you want to do anything with thinner woods because they don't exactly have big beaks, but they do have powerful beaks. So when you do wood, you want to start off with anything thinner and smaller for a baby, and then you can work your way up into some thicker stuff and some bigger stuff.
Okay.
Don't be afraid to incorporate small toys and big toys. Birds love having variety and stimulation. So there's shreddable wood, noisy, anything that they can rip or beat up. They like to beat these on the side of the cage to get frustration out. That's a good one. With rope toys, you have to be careful because some birds will get caught on them, but each bird is different. So you always want to make sure, what they'll do with these is they'll take and like separate the pieces and they'll start to fray it. It's like a way of preening for them. It's soothing. But you have to be careful because once they start to fray it, you don't want them to get hooked on it. So then you just have to kind of cut the toys up. A little bit. Elastic, anything springy that they can kind of pull on. They like to pull on stuff and see how far they can stretch it and then watch it fling back. So you can do anything from stuff like this with like the elastic types on it. They also have some cool ones that have like the edible pieces, which is really nice because these will help keep the beaks down as well. And then there's these kind that they like to just literally pull and watch fling back and see how far they can stretch it. Foraging toys as well. You can do anything from like little balls that you can put stuff in and they have to break them down to be able to get the treats out. Anything like this, you can even, there's like all these little sections that you can put different types of food and stuff in, and then they have to figure out how to spin it to get it to drop out.
So obviously like a variety of toys is really important. So how often would you suggest rotating toys or getting new ones? Because I know that's really important too.
So as they shred the toys or devour the toys, then they should always be replaced. Every bird is different. Some birds like it switched up on a regular basis, whether it's weekly or every couple weeks. Some can be really finicky and picky about getting new items, so you have to slowly just one at a time here and there. Some people will even take it like a 3-month rule. Every 3 months, they just strip the whole entire cage of everything and redo everything. New perches, new toys, rearranging the whole entire cage.
Now that we have all the supplies and stuff for the cage, how is the maintenance as far as taking care of like the mess your bird makes in the cage? How often do you clean the cage? Stuff like that.
So food and water should be changed on a daily basis, and same with the paper or the bedding, whatever you choose to use on the bottom. Water sometimes can be changed multiple times throughout the day. It just depends on if your bird decides to dunk his food or take baths in his water dish, whatever. Whenever the water is dirty, it should be changed. If you're not gonna drink it or eat it, your bird shouldn't either. If you have a grate in your cage, I recommend spot cleaning your cages every single day. It'll help to keep any poop off of the bars of the cage or on the perches of the cage. The grates especially are no different because a lot of the birds will go down on the bottom of the cages as well. You don't want them walking around in their own feces or eating it, so you want to make sure that you keep your cage as clean as possible. So it's important to have a carrier for your bird, whether you're transporting it from your house to the vet or to get the bird groomed, to get the wings and the nails done, whatever it may be. There's all kinds of different varieties of carriers. I always base it on how far are you traveling with the bird will be the right fit for the carrier. If it's something that's very short distance, you can do something like one of these. These though, the bird just sits on the bottom. There's nowhere for them to perch. So you want to make sure that you line it with something as well that you can easily change out so they're not sitting in their own poop. You could do something that's a little bit more open as well. You just have to make sure that if it's cold outside that the carriers are covered as well. It's important for that. You could do something along the lines of these types, which do have perches so that the bird is up and off the ground as well. And they have little shoulder straps so you can carry them. Or you could do something along the lines of like a smaller cage, which has a perch in it. It's got like a grate in it so your paper can be underneath. It's got food and water dishes. Again, I think this is just based on how far you're traveling with the bird. We'll pick the right carrier for the bird.
So would you say that like that would be better for long distance?
This would definitely be better for long distance. So they've got a place to sit up on, and then if they want to eat or drink, they've got something there as well.
So now that we've gone over all the supplies, what would you say people should, take into consideration in their home, things maybe they should or shouldn't use, like what's bird safe and what isn't bird safe? Because there's a lot of stuff. I feel like people make mistakes and accidentally, sometimes their bird just ends up dead because they don't know what they can and can't use in their home because birds are really sensitive. So
birds have a really small respiratory system. So when it comes to anything that's scented, that's where it becomes harmful to them. So you have to be careful with any type of plug-ins or scented candles, colognes, perfumes, cigarette smoke. Any of that stuff can be extremely deadly to a bird. Also, like Teflon is a big killer as well.
Yeah,
when you overheat it, it lets off an odorless toxin, and it's not good for us, and it's really not good for the bird either.
A little bit earlier, we did talk about kind of how birds need a lot of variety in their diet. What fruits and veggies, if any, should you avoid?
Avocado for sure. They should not have any type of avocado in their diet. No avocado, no chocolate, no caffeines. You don't want to do anything with sugar. Anything high in salt, you have to be careful. With your fruits, no seeds and no pits. They can be extremely deadly. So like no apple seeds, no peach pits, no cherry pits especially, no rhubarb, no onions. The list can go on and on. You just really want to make sure that you do your research. And again, it just comes down to asking different people, getting vet recommendations and all of that as well on what not to feed them.
Okay.
But there's a lot of healthy stuff that they should have.
Yeah. What are your favorite things to feed your birds then? Like what? I know there's so much, but.
So there's so much. Just about anything that I eat, I actually offer a little bit to them as long as I know that it's healthy for them.
Yeah.
So any type of fruits, again, just no seeds, no pits from your fruits. A lot of your vegetables, broccoli, kale, spinach. When you do lettuce, you got to be careful. You want to do romaine lettuce over iceberg lettuce because iceberg lettuce is just water.
Yeah. Okay.
So any of your dark greens are really good for them as well.
Well, thank you so much for taking the time to teach us about birds and teaching me about the parrotlet and what I should get. So again, we're at Chirping Friends, so if any of you guys live in Michigan, you should definitely check it out because they have such a huge variety of stuff here and everything is just so cool and you're super knowledgeable. So if anyone has questions, definitely come here and check it out.
So I wanted to add this in here and reiterate how important it is to go to local bird stores if you have them near you as a resource. The people at local bird stores, all they do all day is take care of birds and teach people about birds. And they probably also have birds at home and have so much experience and knowledge to share with you. So that's why I think that they're such a great resource to have. And I know I found going to my local bird store when I was first learning to be really, really helpful. They're just a really great resource for not only helping you figure out what type of bird you might want to get, but also for figuring out like what cage you should get and what supplies you should get and different things you should do and you shouldn't do when you're getting a bird. So those are also things we're all gonna go over when we go to the bird store in the video today. But I just wanted to elaborate that they are just super knowledgeable and it's great to talk to people in person, face to face, and be able to learn about birds. So if you have them near you, take advantage of them because I know I found them to be really helpful as well. All right guys, so that's it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel. I post videos every week. Also, a huge thanks to My Right Bird for sponsoring today's video. Again, if you would like to check out their quiz, the link will be down in the description below. Also, of course, a huge thanks to Chirping Friends for participating with me in today's video and helping teach us more about birds. If you guys would like to check out their store, I will link their page down below as well. And they're located in Michigan, so if you live here, make sure to check them out. And yeah, hopefully you guys learned something or you found this helpful if you are interested in getting a pet bird, because I know the process and everything you need to know, it can be a lot. So hopefully this helped you at least a little bit. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching today's video. If you guys want to check out my social medias, those will be linked down in the description below. And I will see you guys in my next video.